Live from the world headquarters of RT America in our nation's capital, this is the news with Rick Sanchez.
And hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez. It's time to look now at something that's very important to all of us. Recovery, numbers, how we're adjusting, how we're getting out of this situation, both, by the way, at the macro level and at the micro level. In other words, what is Wall Street getting and what is the average worker getting? Look, whether you're a carpenter in Berlin, a plumber in New Delhi, or a house painter in Detroit, this is going to affect you. So let's go over to the wall and let's talk about how those people who I just described are going to be affected by this, because here's what we're learning today. Today, new report, fresh off the press, right? So grocery prices are increasing, and I mean in a big way. They're showing their biggest monthly increase in nearly 50 years last month. This is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the United States government. Biggest jump, meat and eggs. You're now paying 4.3% more for meat and eggs. All in 1 month, by the way. Imagine how much higher it could still get. And by the way, you're going to be paying 1.5% more for fruit and vegetables and 2.9% more for cereals and breads, just on average. You want to talk jobs? Let's talk jobs. New study there, too. This comes out of Stanford University. It says that of all the people who have lost their jobs in the United States so far, 60% of those are going to get their jobs back. Conversely, 40% are not going to get their jobs back. That's a big nut, right? Now, this is based on what's happened historically during recessions, and it's about a month-long study that they have done. Now, let's look at the macro side to this story. And by that, I mean all the free money that is being thrown into the system by governments and central banks all over the world. In the United States, interest rates have been essentially cut to zero, which is, by the way, really good for banks and really good for corporations, right? But maybe not so good for a family trying to save up. Now let's talk about the stimulus or the recovery money or the bailout or whatever you want to call it. It's at the point now where it's almost hard to keep track of, but the number, the consensus, the general consensus on the number that's being used for how much money's been thrown into the system as a result of what we're going through, somewhere around $5 trillion. And there's talk it could still go up based on some of the things that they're discussing in Congress even just today, up to about $8 trillion, right? Same thing happening all over the world. India just this morning announced it's unveiled a new massive stimulus package on top of the one they'd already announced. This one's at $266 billion. They say that's about 10% of their GDP. They call it economic assistance, but it leaves you asking, right? For whom, right? Let's talk about Germany. Another big story going on right now. It's taking place in Germany, and this is interesting because there is a constitutional dispute right now in Germany where the courts are questioning the European Central Bank's right, their right to simply print money as part of their QE without explaining it to German citizens who are going to be negatively affected, right? For example, German savers who are saying, yeah, we agree with this. They should question that because they say they're now going to have to pay the bank just to be able to hold their money. And you have to ask yourself, well, is that fair, right? So suddenly, for the first time, we're starting to see pushback against these central banks. And by the way, there's also another looming question when it comes to this issue that may also be screwing over the average worker. And it's this. What I just described, right? When the market is flooded with money, when real wages and jobs go down, while the prices of goods goes up, folks, what do you got? Almost by definition, this is inflation.